Is moving to the east at 30 miles per hour. Next up, it's going to be North Baltimore to Signet right along I-75, where we have that active tornado warning that is occurring right now. This includes southern parts of Wood County. This is well south of Bowling Green. So at this point, if you are hearing the outdoor warning sirens and you're tuning into our coverage here on WTOL 11, it is due to an active tornado warning that is now across southern parts of Wood County and northern Hancock County. This is going to be in effect until 3:45. There is an intense amount of lightning up there in Bowling Green. You are technically under a severe thunderstorm warning. And I will be clear, there is no active rotation in and around Bowling Green. That is a lot of lightning that's getting your attention. Look at this, 140 lightning strikes just in the past 10 minutes. That is an intense amount of lightning, an indication as well, showing that this storm continues to pulse up and continue to strengthen. We're going to bring Kaylee Bowers in. Kaylee, let's highlight what we've got going on here. So we've got the active tornado warning, but we also have severe thunderstorm warnings that extend back into Henry County and parts of Defiance County.
Yeah, Chris, that's exactly right. In fact, let me go and show you on max to what we are looking at as far as not only that active tornado warning, but like Chris said, we're also tracking multiple thunderstorm warnings. In fact, this is what we're looking at. Let me take off the radar and show you how many active watches warnings we are seeing. So zooming at this just a little bit closer, so that pink polygon you see, that is that tornado warning in effect for about another 30 minutes. But we're also watching that thunderstorm warning that does include parts of Bowling Green, Hamler, and southeastern Defiance County. If you're in Napoleon, you are not under any active warnings right now, but of course we are still monitoring that tornado warning as well. So let's kind of do a little reset here and show you what we are looking at. If you are in Lucas County, you're seeing this wall-to-wall coverage, you are not under any active tornado warnings. However, southern Wood County, also near North Baltimore, northern Hancock County, west of Fostoria, you are under this tornado warning. Again, this is in effect. You can see this right here in effect until 3:45 this afternoon. And we're not going anywhere until this warning has been allowed to expire. This is what we're looking at, tornado warning for Hancock and Wood County. So one thing I always like to do is I like to show the track. When should you be getting to your safe space and when? In fact, let's go ahead and take this graphic full screen to show you exactly that. So Jerry City, Bradner, Fostoria, North Baltimore, you are in that pink polygon. But one thing I do want to look at is this track. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull this track down, and this is moving east around 30 miles an hour. So we're going to move this right here. So within the next hour, North Baltimore, you need to be in your safe space in the next 6 minutes, right around 3:16, 3:18, Rising Sun, Bloomdale, 3:30. If you live in Fremont, 3:39, 3:47 for those of you in Fostoria, 3:57 in Clyde. And if you have loved ones out on the golf course, 4:03 at Sleepy Hollow Golf Course. So we're going to continue to monitor this single tornado warning. Again, this is in effect until 3:45 for parts of Wood County and Hancock County. And what we're seeing is our biggest threat is a tornado. So along with that tornado warning, like Chris mentioned, we are watching multiple thunderstorm warnings. I know there's a lot on the screen that you kind of have to look at, but basically from Defiance County all the way to parts of Wood County and Hancock County, you have the chance for some very heavy rain, some lightning, thunder, as well as that chance for a brief spin-up tornado as well. So we're going to continue to monitor this both on air and online. Of course, we have team coverage. Chief Meteorologist Chris Vickers is standing by. Right. Chris, what are we looking at on radar over there for you?
A lot of activity going on right now. Kaylee, excellent job breaking that down. A very nice, calm and composed analysis of what is occurring right now. So you've got a very strong temperature boundary. Right now, it's in the 60s across the Toledo metro, the 90s just south of this line of storms, and that is firing up some storms that are showing some twisting and turning. So active tornado warning. It is in effect for southern Wood County, northern Hancock County. I'm going to get a little bit closer in on this, though, because the rotation that's being exhibited, there it is, that temperature contrast right now. How about this? 60s across the Toledo metro, and now you're seeing it and feeling it. Ottawa to Findlay, we're in the lower 90s right now. So an incredible amount of heat and instability that's been showing up. All right, we'll switch back over to Doppler radar, and we're going to indicate where we've got that line of storms. You're going to see it right here at the end of my fingertip. That is the boundary that's firing these storms. We're exhibiting the rotation within these storms, and in particular, I'm going to highlight a few areas that are showing us rotation. So we're going to go into southern Wood County first. There's two areas of rotation that I'm seeing with this particular cell. One of them actually just a little bit more north up toward I-75. This is going to be south of Route 6, just west of Jerry City. So we're right in the vicinity of, let's say, just north of North Baltimore, right in this area, anywhere from about Route 6 down to the Hancock and Wood County line. That is an area that is exhibiting some rotation that extends back to the Wood and Henry County line. There's Deschler. Weston, we are not seeing any rotation. It is just south and east of Weston. Bowling Green, I understand the outdoor warning sirens may be sounding across a good chunk of Wood County. It is south of Bowling Green where we have the greatest risk of that rotation to be occurring. Although Wood County, including Bowling Green, you are under a severe thunderstorm warning, so I do want you to be in your safe place at this point. Let's scroll a little bit west of here. Let's go over to Henry County because there's some areas of rotation right here near Holgate as well that I'm watching. So this is south of 281. So there's 281 and 108, goes right through Holgate. There's some exhibiting rotation that's been showing up in this area, not actively warned under a tornado warning. This is a severe thunderstorm warning, but the potential is any storm or any severe thunderstorm warning could have some brief spin-up tornadoes, and we're seeing some rotation in this area. Now, if you're in southern Defiance County, south of State Route 18, this is extreme far southeastern parts of Defiance County. You too are under a severe thunderstorm warning, and at this point, we're seeing no active rotation in this part of the cell, but that severe thunderstorm warning does go in effect until 3:30 p.m. All right, let's go back a little bit east of Holgate, and let's focus on this area. And Kaylee, if you could turn over to our velocity signature.
Sure.
I'm going to estimate that somewhere right in between Hamler and Holgate, that's it, right there. This is where we're seeing a little bit of spinning and turning in the atmosphere. So what we're looking at right here, it's called storm relative velocity. We're kind of taking a scan through these storms, and we're indicating where we have some of these colors, the reds joining up with the green colors. So that is motion moving away from the radar site, motion moving toward the radar site. So there is some rotation showing up here in Hamler. We do not have an active tornado warning in and around Henry County, but I'm going to be a little extra cautious on this one, and I just want you to be in your safe place. If you're toward Holgate and Hamler, specifically Hamler, right along State Route 18, this is just south of State Route 281. So 281 is going to take you to Wood County, right around Custer. It is along and south. If you're in Malinta, it is just south of you. You know, that's just a pretty quick trip down 109 where we're seeing a little bit of rotation. Let's keep this view right here, Kaylee, or at least this product. Let's scroll back over here to Wood County, okay, and we'll highlight a few of those areas of rotation. And we're seeing a couple spots. And again, right here, it's a little bit muddied in this particular view, but it's just north of Hoytville. Now, this is going to be moving across I-75. If you're really anywhere in this vicinity, north of Hoytville, just east of Custer, that is 235 there. There's North Baltimore, there's Signet, and that is extending up to 281 Defiance Pike across southern Wood County. This is our area of concern. Now, let's go down just a little bit, widen this out. At this point, this tornado warning does include the northern tier of Hancock County, just north of Macomb. I don't see the risk for Hancock County as much as Wood County. I'm going to put you a little bit higher with that risk up there in Wood County. So if you are in northern Hancock County, technically, maybe it's those outdoor warning sirens that have gotten your attention, the alert that we send on the WTOL 11 weather app. That storm generally is trending east, slightly south and east. So heads up in this area that may head out there toward more remote parts of Hancock County. But North Baltimore at this point, I do want you in your safe spot because you are under that active tornado warning until 3:45. Current time right now is 3:16. We may be for the long haul for this one. We're going to continue our coverage. We're going to be on air here until the duration of this tornado warning, just due to the fact that this storm does not appear to be weakening. It is in an environment that is going to be ripe for it to continue to intensify or at least remain at this strength. And an indication of that, too, is the amount of lightning strikes, 156 lightning strikes. That is just across southern parts of Wood County at this point. So any brand new information coming in, I know we get consistent updates, Kaylee, coming in from the National Weather Service on what they're seeing as well. We're still exhibiting some rotation. No confirmation yet of any tornado. This is Doppler radar indicated, which means the conditions are ripe, where we want to warn you in advance of what's going on. Kaylee, any latest on that?
Yeah, Chris, from what I'm seeing, I'm looking at National Weather Service chat. We are still watching those active watches and warnings. From what we're seeing, in fact, just came down from the National Weather Service just a moment ago. The Wood County Sheriff's Office has received some reports of trees down in the Weston area from that cell that has just passed. So if you are in parts of Wood County, just be careful if you are driving outside, which please don't be driving outside as we are monitoring, again, multiple thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings as well. So this is the latest loop on radar and satellite. First off, I know a lot of people in Lucas County in the Toledo Metro, you're watching. As of now, the National Weather Service has canceled that severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Lucas County. So one thing I do want to show you, I want to take off the radar. I want to take off the lightning. These are the different warnings that we are seeing. So these from Defiance County, you can see over towards parts of Wood County, down towards Hancock County. And also we're watching those multiple thunderstorm warnings and that single tornado warning. So we're not going anywhere. We're going to continue to monitor this. And as far as the latest updates from the National Weather Service, that's the latest we're seeing in chat. All right, so we are still watching, again, that thunderstorm warning in Defiance and also in Henry County. But one thing we always like to show you, of course, is the track as far as this tornado warning and this thunderstorm warning. So this actually looks like we are receiving another thunderstorm warning.
Go ahead and get the latest on that, Kaylee, and pass that along with the latest on that severe thunderstorm warning. I'm going to give you that track just as you were about ready to do. Let's highlight this across southern Wood County. And Kaylee, when you get that information, please come on back. So let's zoom in. And we've got that severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect. It is just outside of Bowling Green now, south of North Baltimore. But it's the active tornado warning that's a little bit closer to about Route 281 into southern parts of Wood County, northern Hancock County. It did just get word from our radio partners as well. WFIN, WKXA, they are carrying our signal over their airwaves, so we look to serve you as well. We appreciate you tuning in as the WTOL 11 weather team breaks down this active tornado warning. So what we're looking at is storm relative velocity or an indication of rotation. I'm not seeing those dramatic sort of tight areas of rotation that we saw just about 15 minutes ago that prompted this active tornado warning, but that is something that really could spin up in the atmosphere that we have. This is moving to the south and to the east, and it's moving about 30 miles per hour. So if we're looking toward rising sun, this is just moments away. So if you're in rising sun, in fact, that lightning is already booming and perhaps that rain is really starting to pick up. But the worst of that storm is just moments away. 323, Bloomdale 329. So there's Bloomdale. That's where we get into the heavier core of this storm where we're indicating some of that possible rotation is. You're already starting to get some rain down toward Bloomdale. And then 342. Now, technically, you're not in that tornado warning in Fostoria, but it is headed in your direction. So I'm going to give you an early heads up on that. If you are in Fostoria, 342 is around the time that is going to be headed toward Fostoria. I want you in your safe place in the next few moments just to be prepared for this storm because it is going to be tracking directly towards you in the next few moments. So we have an active tornado warning. This indicates where we have some wind shear in the atmosphere and some spinning motion, so to speak. Had an indication this was south of Route 6. That is an area that did have some recent rotation, but I've also detected some of that rotation in and around I-75 just north of North Baltimore that is now crossing east of I-75 and will continue to work toward the eastern parts of Wood County and eastern parts of Hancock County. So keep that in mind as this tracks to the south and to the east at about 30 miles per hour. Severe thunderstorm warning also does include parts of Wood County until about 3:45. So we're going to continue to monitor that as we go through the latest on this one. Let's head back over. Kaylee, take us back over toward really quick because a lot of folks over there. Actually, brand new information. Let's get this out there. So go ahead and clear that off for us right there, Kaylee. Looks like the expansion of a severe thunderstorm warning has gone now to include the city of Findlay because what's going to be happening, the southern flank of this line, that's going to continue to intensify and move down toward Findlay. So we're saying at this point, even if you're not in that tornado warning and Findlay is not in the tornado warning, we have a severe thunderstorm warning that has just been issued. That is going to be until 4:15. It includes Hancock County, Sandusky County, Seneca County, and Wood County. Now, here's the threat of this one. So the threat has now been upgraded to what we call considerable. So that means this is a severe thunderstorm warning that may be capable of producing 70-mile-per-hour winds. That threat includes southern parts of Wood County, much of central and northern Hancock County. It does include Findlay. So at this point, Now, Findlay, you're not under a tornado warning, and we've got our viewers now in from WFIN, WKXA. Not a tornado warning in Findlay, but I want you to really treat it as such, with winds that could be up to about 70 miles per hour moving in. That is a considerable threat, and it will work into Seneca County. This includes Tiffin and over toward Sandusky County, Fremont as well, where the rain is just beginning to pick up. The cluster of thunder and lightning. This could be producing 70-mile-per-hour winds as it moves in, so that considerable threat for high-end wind damage is going to be possible. So, Kaylee, let's reset the stage here. Let's widen the picture out, and we'll show folks what's going on, because these storms are a very select part of our viewing area. So if we hit the home button, let's take us back over toward what we have across the broader area here in Northwest Ohio and southern Michigan. If you're joining us up across southern Michigan, it's mainly quiet. We have a few clusters of storms, but all this activity is forming along a really intense temperature boundary where it's in the 60s right now in the Toledo metro. It is in the 90s on the southern fringe of this complex of storms, and right squished in between, we have this complex of storms that is producing widespread severe weather. Kaylee, we had reports out there toward Defiance of what, about 60-mile-per-hour winds?
Yeah, we got a report earlier about 60 mile per hour winds in Defiance County. This was probably about, I'd say, 20 to 30 minutes ago. So we are tracking some very strong winds. In fact, let's go and pull up our wind gust map, show you how strong it is. So it's not indicating too much on here by the numbers, but you can definitely see from the colors from Sandusky, Fremont, down towards Upper Sandusky. But notice those very bright colors right along the Ohio-Indiana border, tracking some very strong and powerful winds. So again, if you are just tuning in with us, we're tracking strong winds, heavy rain, lightning, thunder, but there also is that chance for a spin-up tornado as well. So we are monitoring multiple thunderstorm warnings, but we're also watching a single tornado warning right now in parts of Wood and Hancock County. Once this line moves through, we're getting a break from these strong storms. But let's zoom in just a little bit closer. If you're in Findlay, I want you in your safe space right now. But if you're in the city of BG, these showers and thunderstorms are south and east of you. So you can see right here a decent amount of lightning and thunder. But if you're in North Baltimore, you need to be in your safe space as well. So one thing I want to do, I'm going to take off the lightning just to show just a little bit more clear perspective. But as far as the timing of this goes, one thing that this system is doing, it's moving east around 30 miles an hour. So what we're going to look at right here is we're going to show you this track. So Bloomdale, you have about 5 minutes to get to your safe space. Fostoria, we've been talking about Fostoria for the past few minutes. 344. Arcadia, 352, Green Springs, just about 5 minutes after 4 o'clock. And if you're in Tiffin, around 4:14 this afternoon. So we're going to continue to watch these very strong and powerful storms. But like Chris mentioned, we're talking heavy rain, lightning, thunder, and a lot of hail. And that's one thing I do want to see as far as our hail track goes. We're seeing hail possible around pea size, quarter size. In fact, this is our hail report within the past several minutes. So we're getting some very large reports of hail, especially in parts of Henry County. I mean, look at that. Hail 1 inch in diameter. So definitely a good time to stay inside. I mean, yeah, this is intense right here. One thing I also do want to look at also is we are monitoring the National Weather Service chat. Looks like we're not seeing anything new on the Weather Service chat at the moment.
Yeah, the only thing I have in there, Kaylee, you pass that along as well, the reports in the western area of some trees that were down from the Wood County EMA and the Sheriff's Office. They did put that out there. This is to note, though, that this severe thunderstorm warning that was issued just moments ago that does include northern Hancock County, Sandusky County, Seneca County, that is a considerable severe thunderstorm warning because the forward motion of this line of storms continues to accelerate, now moving east at 40 miles per hour. It is producing potentially winds up to 70 miles per hour as that does move through.
Hey,
and we've
Chris.
now even seen an extension that is Erie and Huron County, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so severe thunderstorm warnings. Basically, we're saying we've got enough confidence. It does look like we've actually even had a gust front that surged out in advance of this. So these winds actually could be surging out well in advance of this one. So hey, this is going to affect a large portion of our viewing area due to the fact that these storms are just erupting in such an unstable atmosphere. Kaylee, a few things we're going to go over here.
Yeah.
I want you to take us through this line. Let's start first down here, the tornado warning. That is for our folks down in southern Wood County, northern Hancock County. That is of immediate concern. And we've got that tornado tornado warning that's going to be in effect until 3:45. This circulation now is moving east of I-75. So if you're anywhere just south of Bradner, out toward Fostoria, I already gave you that heads up there that I want you in your safe place. Even though that tornado warning officially expires right there at the county line, we know Fostoria kind of straddles the county line there. So just to be safe, I want you in your safe place in Fostoria. But the rotation seems to be here right around and just east of North Baltimore. So if we get a little bit closer in this particular area where we're getting some of that warmer, rich inflow, this is going to be, there's Signet. So from Signet to Bloomdale and from Bloomdale to Rising Sun. This is also an area we're getting some really intense flashes of lightning. So the skies, they're absolutely booming right now with thunder and the flashes of lightning that are accompanying that. It looks a little messy on the storm relative velocity. So what this is a product that is sort of scanning through the thunderstorms to see, as meteorologists, where we can detect the rotation. So I don't see a clear signature of that. So I'm going to ask you to switch over, Kaylee, to our shear tracks as well to see if we've got any shear in this area. It can kind of sort of smooth it and filter it. And there it is, right there. So this is south of 281. So I'm going to get you set here in Wood County. We're east of Signet by about 8 miles. We are just west of 199. So there's 199 where it comes south of 281. Just west of 199, that is an indication where we at least have some weaker level wind shear that is occurring right now. This is north of Bloomdale, but this is an indication of where we are potentially seeing some of that rotation. Again, at this point, we're fortunate we haven't had any confirmed tornadoes that have been put into our WTOL 11 weather station here. But the indication is that we may be getting some rotation here. All right, keep this view, Kaylee. Let's switch right back over to reflectivity. This is going to be where the most intense part of the storm is. Look at that. Look at those flashes of lightning that are just coming in. You know, if you're in Signet, if you're in Bloomdale, if you're just ahead of this, and it's very likely that these storms are surging those winds out ahead of it, from Bradner to Rising Sun, you've got 60 to 70 mile per hour winds that are possibly surging in your direction. So active tornado warning. This is the quadrant I'm most concerned about. It is I-75 and east into Wood County. Let's scoot down into northern Hancock County just a little bit because really at this point, we're seeing the southern edge of that tornado warning, including Arcadia, just north of Findlay. But here's the deal. If you're down toward Findlay, while you're not in the active tornado warning, you may be getting some winds of 60 to 70 miles per hour that are going to be headed towards you because that storm is now approaching Macomb to Hoytville through North Baltimore. There's a resurgence of this as well as it does move through. Go ahead and give me the latest on what's happening over toward Henry County as well, where we've got an active severe thunderstorm warning, Kaylee. It looks like that continues, and give me a time on both these severe thunderstorm warnings. Again, it's from southern Defiance County. This should expire at 3:30. So coming up in 1 minute, we've got Henry and Putnam County. There we go. Yep. So Defiance County, that is going to fall off. That should fall off. And look at that. It did it right before our very eyes. That is now expired there. So that one is expired. Now we have this active severe thunderstorm warning. This is for Henry and Putnam County till 3:45 for winds that could exceed 60 miles per hour. So we've got that. We're covering you all across northwest Ohio here. Southern Henry County, northern parts of Paulding County. This extends now from Continental to Leipzig. Technically, if you're here in Leipzig, you're just on the edge of that severe thunderstorm warning. Deschler, you've really been in the thick of it for about 45 minutes now. It's probably storming, perhaps harder than it's rained or stormed all summer long in Deschler. That includes over toward North Baltimore, heavy storms that are occurring. So let's slide a little bit back to the east as well. So we've covered us now across southern Henry County, northern Putnam County. That is until 3:45, that active severe thunderstorm warning. Here along I-75, worst of this storm in Wood County, which is still an active tornado warning, is east of I-75. I'm very interested to see what's going to be happening next with this toward Fostoria because, again, want you in your safe place. If you're in Fostoria, western or eastern parts of Wood County, anywhere south of Bradner, south of Jerry City, east of North Baltimore, in this area, I do want you in your safe spot. It is going to be headed into Seneca County, so we can give you that early advanced warning if you are in Seneca County. It is a severe thunderstorm warning at this point, but a considerable threat where winds could be up to about 70 miles per hour. Kaylee's got some time of arrival on this one, and we're looking at Arcadia. It's happening essentially right now for you. You're right in that area. There you go. Fostoria, you're closer to about 340 that's going to be moving into Fostoria. So you have mere moments now in Fostoria. And I can't stress that enough. We've got 60 to 70 mile per hour winds that may very well be coming into Fostoria within the next 5 to 10 minutes. So I do want you to seek shelter. This is not a storm that you stand out on the front porch and you try to take pictures of or you view it. It is a storm that has a considerable threat to it with wind damage up to 70 miles per hour with winds. That could be knocking power out. It could be toppling trees. It could be knocking branches over, loose objects outdoors. Well, they could really kind of go lofted and elevated with that. So that is working toward Fostoria. This is really, at this point, it's my last warning to you that you need to be in your safe place because that active tornado warning takes you right up to the city of Fostoria. Potentially, if we see rotation, that could be extended. Tiffin, you still got some time here. This is going to be still about 30 minutes away from actually arriving in Tiffin. It's moving east about 30 to 40 miles per hour. So this is going to make its way across Seneca County. So Tiffin, you are going to be next up. We're giving you that early heads up. We want you in your safe place. This does extend up to Fremont as well. We've got a northern extent of the storm. And let's go up here, Kaylee. We haven't been up here yet to Sandusky County to make sure that our friends over there towards Sandusky County, this is from Fremont back to Woodville. If you're in Woodville, you're really on the northern extent of it. You're just fine in Woodville, but it does extend across western Sandusky County, just outside of Bettsville. Let's get a little bit closer to this cluster right here. That's some really heavy rain. So here's Route 6 that comes in. If you're out there familiar with it, it's where State Route 53 and Route 6 meet up just on the west side of Fremont. Here's Route 20 that comes into Fremont. This storm is about ready to get intense in Fremont.
Oh, wow.
At this point, yeah, what are we seeing here, Kaylee? Why don't you, it does appear perhaps in the proximity of a little bit of rotation. I'll call this broad rotation at this point. If we had more of a tornado threat, yeah, keep this right here. So we've got winds that are flowing, again, toward the radar, and there you can use that legend here. You know, part of what we do here, too, we aim to educate and to tell you what we're doing as we go through the severe weather coverage. This is Doppler radar storm relative velocity. So right along and west of State Route 53, this is out Route 6. I believe the Sandusky County Airport, Regional Airport, is right in the vicinity there on the west side of town. Here's 590. Here's State Route 635. There's Gibsonburg. This is now just east and along. It's right at the junction of 590 and State Route 6. We do have some broad rotation here. We're going to watch this. So as a word of caution in Fremont, probably a good idea just to be in your area of shelter at this point because this is not only a severe thunderstorm capable of producing 60 to 70 mile per hour winds, but it's headed into your area very soon. Kaylee, you've got an update for us?
Yeah, Chris, we do have actually multiple thunderstorm warnings now issued in our area. This one just came down just a moment ago from the National Weather Service. This is for Putnam County. I mean, one thing I do want you to really see, I mean, this warning stretches from Putnam County all the way over towards Cleveland. So basically the entire lakeshore under some kind of thunderstorm warning, but also we are still monitoring that tornado warning as well. But actually it looks like we are seeing one of those warnings allowed to drop, maybe not. Let's see here.
We've lost the Defiance County one.
That's what I thought
know that,
so. But
which is good news. Yep.
Yeah, so we're really watching over towards Putnam County, towards Hancock County, Seneca County, and even over towards parts of Erie and Huron counties as well. So this one that just came down from the National Weather Service a moment ago, and we'll get back to Chris and talk more about this tornado warning. This severe thunderstorm warning in Putnam County, this is in effect until 4 o'clock this afternoon. Our biggest threat with all of these warnings are these 60 mile per hour wind gusts as well. So we're going to continue to monitor and track this. I mean, this is a very powerful storm producing strong winds, heavy rain, and in fact, we're still watching the single tornado warning. I mean, look at that, just north of Macomb, south of North Baltimore. Let's look at this just a little bit closer. Look at this track as far as where we could be seeing it next. That's one thing that we always like to look at. And of course, if we always count out your hometown, you need to be getting to your safe space as well. So let's put the track on this. In fact, let's zoom out just a little bit closer right here. Give me one moment here. Again, we are monitoring multiple thunderstorm warnings, multiple tornado warnings across the area. So this tornado warning is for southern Wood County and northern Hancock County. Like Chris mentioned, this possibly could be moving into parts of Seneca County within the next several minutes. So North Baltimore, you need to be in your safe space right now. And even if you're in Findlay, like Chris has mentioned, you're technically not in this tornado warning, but you can see it's heading that way. So Findlay, really not a bad idea. Same thing for Fostoria. Same thing for folks in Tiffin. Mount Blanchard, even not a bad idea. So let's put the track on this and look at this just a little bit closer. So it's moving about east around 30 miles an hour. So Findlay, Arcadia, New Regal, if you're in Seneca, about 402, Cary around 417, Texas around 423. So this is a very fast moving storm. But one thing we're always looking at is we need to reset and just show you how many people are impacted from this storm. Again, from Putnam County to Hancock County, Wood County, Seneca County, Sandusky County, Erie County, and Huron County. You are all under some kind of thunderstorm warning, but also are watching that tornado warning in Wood County and also in Hancock County. I'm going to check the chat real quick, Chris.
So good news with this, Kaylee, and I'm going to actually do a few unusual things that we typically wouldn't do during tornado coverage. We're going to show you just how extreme this situation is across our viewing area. So as Kaylee just showed you, let's reset the stage. Current time is 3:37. Officially, that tornado warning is for southern Wood County, northern Hancock County till 3:45. We're absolutely going to be here. We're going to be covering it. I have a feeling that many of our counties, you're hearing the outdoor warning sirens. Maybe you're getting the free alerts that we give you on the WTOL 11 weather app. Either way, we are preparing you and we're informing you of the severe weather situation. But either way, at this point, there's been numerous areas of rotation within this particular line. But at this point, we haven't had a single confirmed tornado. So we're being a little extra cautious about this. But I do want to show you with that tornado warning in effect until 3:45. Kaylee, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have you put the current temperatures up. And this is going to be really extreme. You're going to see a huge difference from up here in the Toledo Metro to what's occurring south of this line. So I want you to focus on this, what's going to be happening. We've got 60-degree readings up here on the northern flank of this line. Look at this, 66 Toledo, 64 in Bowling Green. And how extreme is this? 92 degrees in Findlay, 91 in Ottawa, 90 in Upper Sandusky. Folks, I've been here nearly 2 decades. It's about as extreme as it gets as far as a weather situation where we have 60s crashing into 90s, and you get it right along that line. That is where we've got our strong and severe storms. I mean, take a look at this map. It is very unusual this time of year to see a display like this. All right, let's switch back over to radar, and I did get a report out there toward Arcadia here, northeastern Hancock County, where the temperature plunged about 25 degrees in a matter of a few moments, because there's that storm, that gust front now is coming to northern Hancock County. Let's get a little closer into this tornado warning here that is now creeping. And again, I gave you that heads up. We've got people joining us here, not only on WTOL 11 and Fox 36, but our listeners down there out of Findlay, WKXA, WFIN. If you are in your safe place at this point, you could still hear our voice. We're going to talk you through this one. That is still an active tornado warning. It is just north of Findlay, just north of Macomb. That does include northern Hancock County, southern Wood County, that is south of Route 6. And where we mentioned, remember Fostoria, we said right around 3:40, the worst of that storm was going to be arriving. Yeah, if you're in Fostoria, you're feeling it right now. The worst of that storm is now pushing into Fostoria, so it is crossing out of Wood County and moving into Seneca County. This is an area we want to investigate a little bit more, Kaylee, because we're about ready to see what's going to happen with this tornado warning. It is set to expire in 5 minutes at 3:45. So what I'd like to do here is I'd like to keep the view right here, right along Route 23, north of 224. Let's do a little investigation on the fly. Are we seeing any rotation in this area? So let's go back over to storm relative velocity. Yeah, a little muddied here. So Fostoria, these are the gusty winds that are now racing out in advance of this storm. And this is highlighting 60 to 70 mile per hour winds that are going to be possible across Fostoria. They've likely already arrived in Fostoria. They are now crossing or have crossed Route 23. These are staying now just north of 224, but they're going to come south of 224. That's going to be out there toward New Regal. It's up toward Bettsville, over toward Burgoon. We've got a really intense area of rain and storms that's up here in Burgoon. Moments ago, we highlighted this area. So here's the Sandusky River that snakes into Fremont. So just outside of Bettsville, we've got rotation, which would appear to be right in and around Burgoon in this area just south and west of Fremont on State Route 53. A little bit of rotation, or that could just be some gusty winds that are racing out in advance of this storm. This is going to be moving toward, this is State Route 19 that comes in with Route 20 east of Fremont. That's over toward Clyde. Down here's Green Springs. These are the gusty winds that are going to be racing to the east, and considerable threat here. Winds of 60 to 70 miles per hour. Let's go ahead and switch back over to Doppler radar reflectivity, and let's see that storm that's just arriving into Fremont and how intense it is. Yeah, pretty intense storm, and that includes a whole bunch of lightning that is right along and now east of State Route 53. We've kept you ahead of the game on this one. Told you it was coming about 30 minutes ago into Fremont, so hopefully at this point you're in your safe place. Number of lightning strikes just in this view right here. This is Sandusky County alone. There's 52 lightning strikes. The skies are just absolutely electric right now across Sandusky County. This is a severe thunderstorm warning capable of 60 to 70 mile per hour winds that continues to move east about 30 to 40 miles per hour, producing an incredible amount of lightning, but also gusty winds that could be doing some damage, some power outages that may be possible, tree limbs that may be toppled, and any outdoor objects, to be honest, if they haven't been secured, they could be in the neighbor's backyard at this point across Sandusky County. Fresh lightning strike. If you just heard that in Fremont, you're listening to our coverage, that sky was just booming with some additional strikes of lightning and rumbles of thunder. So let's widen the picture back out. We're in Sandusky County right now toward Fremont, but this severe weather threat really extends all the way to the east. As Kaylee said, these storms are now surging with a gust front. This includes Erie County, Huron County, Sandusky County, Seneca County, Wood County, northern Hancock County, northeastern Putnam County, and southern Henry County. We've got well over a half a dozen counties that are under a severe thunderstorm warning. And this is a massive cluster of storms that has really erupted into a highly unstable atmosphere where we've got this boundary that's set up, and mixed in this boundary, there's a few areas that have shown some tendencies to begin to rotate, and we've been really down to street level on where that area of rotation is. Still that active tornado warning. That is for northern Hancock County, southern parts of Wood County. That is in effect for 2 more minutes. And at this point, it is more than just the tornado threat, because we haven't seen a signature that's really jumped out at us as far as extreme rotation. But what's more concerning is the gusty winds with these 60 to 70 mile per hour winds that may very well be possible as these storms do surge to the east. Still getting hit really hard. Fostoria, you're in some of the thick of the storm right now. It extends back right along the Hancock County and Wood County line. There's North Baltimore. Now moving into Van Buren. So we've got Van Buren, which is right here. If you're out there toward Van Buren State Park, you're going to be in this area. We're right off of, get my bearings here, we should be right there towards Van Buren, south of State Route 18, where we've got that heavy storm that is now crossing I-75. So you are in the midst of it across northern Hancock County as well. Whole lot of lightning with this. Let's widen the picture back out. And Kaylee, as we hit 345, we're going to see very soon here how we're going to proceed with this one. Either way, we're going to continue to cover this because these storms potentially mean business across the southern edge of our viewing areas. So if you're here in the Toledo Metro, and you're wondering, why are we covering what we're covering right now? Well, number one, an active tornado warning in southern Wood County. Very likely all of Wood County, or at least the majority of it, heard the outdoor warning sirens. Maybe had you tune into WTOL 11 for your coverage here, or you got the alerts with that free WTOL 11 weather app. We're keeping you ahead of these storms. They are south of the Toledo Metro. So if you're in the Toledo Metro, we may not be in the clear as far as, what do we got here, Kaylee?
It's canceled.
There we go. Great. As we expected, 345. Active tornado warning has been canceled. But let's get a quick update. Kaylee, why don't you find for me as well? I do need to know, I suspect that we still have that considerable threat with that severe thunderstorm warning. That includes, let me know which counties that is. That should be Sandusky County. It should be, it should be Hancock, Sandusky, Seneca, and Wood County. Until 4:15, a considerable threat for wind damage. That considerable threat could be a golf ball-sized hail or perhaps a quarter-sized hail with winds up to 60 to 70 miles per hour. So it's saying we're noting not only severe thunderstorms, but thunderstorms that are capable of producing some pretty intense wind gusts. One of those areas is south of Fremont now, and we've been highlighting that as it's crossed State Route 53. That considerable threat for wind damage is going to be a threat. We are here to make sure that you're informed, that you're safe, and that you're aware of the situation. Again, I don't see that risk right now in the Toledo Metro, so we appreciate you tuning into our coverage, knowing that we're keeping our friends down to the south, all across Northwest Ohio, covered when severe weather does threaten. That is our #1 goal and our #1 job. Still really intense cluster of storms here in Fremont that is now going to be moving east along Route 20. I'm going to give you that heads up. If you are now in Clyde, you have a few moments before that storm really roars into Clyde. It's already storming just east of you in Bellevue, but this is the cluster of lightning that's racing almost due to the east, about 30 miles per hour. And what I'm going to do, Kaylee, as well, I'm going to have you take me down to this particular cell that is now just crossed. It's moved through Bettsville. This is right along Sandusky and Seneca County line, so it is now east of State Route 53. A little concern about how that one's kind of merging together and what it's doing east of Bettsville. That is going to be right over Green Springs, so there's a lot of lightning, fresh lightning. Good news on this is that we're not seeing any rotation in and around Green Springs, outside of perhaps that has just popped in. A little bit of rotation, but either way, 60-mile-per-hour winds very likely that are just about ready to get Green Springs, if not already arrived in Green Springs. That is State Route 19. So again, that runs north-south right through Green Springs. Those gusty winds are already pushing through. We're getting some indication that this could be producing hail size in the vicinity of about a quarter size that would be possible. Perhaps you saw a little bit of that south and west of Fremont along 53. My concern, though, is going to be right here, Green Springs and east, and even a little bit of a Boeing shape here that is going to be moving. This is State Route 101. So 101 moves and angles right up here into Clyde. So if you're from Clyde to Green Springs, that is where the gusty winds are. That is going to be moving to the east. It's going to be headed toward Bellevue. Already storming in Bellevue, and those severe thunderstorm warnings indicate winds up to about 70 miles per hour, Kaylee.
Yeah, Chris, so we're going to take a little reset right here. Again, we are tracking no active tornado warnings at this moment, but at least in northwest Ohio and southeast Michigan, there is a tornado warning just west of Cleveland, but we're going to focus on the thunderstorm warnings that we are looking at. We are live on WTOL 11, we're live on YouTube, and we're also live on Facebook. A couple things I do want to mention that we are seeing some comments here on Facebook. We're getting reports from you guys at home, so thank you for sending them in. Do this safely. Of course, if we are saying your town, of course, get to your safe space as well. Patty says there is hail in Fremont. And one big thing, if you guys do happen to get pictures or videos of hail, one thing, take pictures with your phone, do it horizontally, but have something nearby, a quarter or a dime or a nickel or something, so that way we can see the size in comparison as far as how big that hail certainly is. We're getting reports of sirens going off in Findlay from Nicholas. Yes, there are no active tornado warnings right now. We're going to talk more about what's going on in Findlay at the moment. Let's see. Yeah, multiple people are saying there's sirens in Findlay. Let's see, what else are we seeing?
Yeah, as we expected, we probably would see that at that point. For the threat of that storm, Kaylee, 70-mile-per-hour winds, not something that we mess around with. I do have some video that did come in just moments ago. This was from Nate. Nate sent this over toward Delta. So here's the turbulent motion that we're seeing in this. And this is really a classic signature of a gust front. So what's happening here? The winds are really gusting out in front of this storm. Look at the curl motion. So it's almost lofting some of that warm, humid air up. So the turbulent motion that we're seeing right here is that gust front that's racing out in advance of some of those storms. This was from Delta earlier today. Look at how dark and ominous. So this is a signature of some gusty winds that have come into the area, and what you may be seeing ahead of some of those storms that are now racing to the south and to the east. No active threat right now in Delta or Fulton County. So this was just a bit ago, but an indication of what those storms may be looking like. And again, look at that turbulent motion, which really, with how unstable the atmosphere is, that turbulent rising motion, if we get that vertical column that begins to spin, that's the genesis of a tornado, or how at least a tornado does begin. So let's get you back over to Doppler radar. A little bit of good news if you've been following our coverage. We've been on air since the top of the 3 o'clock hour, and we're going to be here with you as we go through the duration of the afternoon until the severe weather threat does clear, because we've got multiple counties that are under severe thunderstorm warnings. I'm going to recap that. We've got Putnam County from Ottawa up toward Lipsick under a severe thunderstorm warning. In northern Hancock County, that does include the city of Findlay. We've got our listeners down there, WFIN, WKXA, broadcasting all across north central Ohio, northwest Ohio. The storm is just getting ready to push into Findlay. It is going to be bringing winds 60 to potentially up to 70 miles per hour. Storms that continue to the east are now headed into Seneca County, southern parts of Sandusky County, and all of Erie and Huron County. And just a measure of note here, that is a tornado warning out there toward the western suburbs of Cleveland. That is a very intense portion of that line. So indications are, yes, we may still feature rotation at any point within these storms. That is an active tornado warning that's out there toward like Avon Lake, West Lake, down into Strongsville, where the western suburbs of Cleveland are covering a very intense storm that is tornado warned at this point. We've got a gust front. This is a very unique feature, Kaylee. Let's get over here because when meteorologists see a feature like this on radar, it's a little concerning. So why don't we go down into Huron County and let's explain exactly what's going on. So this little ribbon that we're seeing, and then go ahead and pause it once we get right there. Beautiful. From Attica all the way up to Oberlin, I mean, that's about, what, 40, 45 miles? We've got storm winds that are now gusting ahead of the actual line itself. So yes, it's storming. Yes, it's raining. Not bad, 42 miles right there. There's Norwalk, there's Route 250. So what's occurring right here, if you are one that opens up a weather app or watches radar very closely, you may be looking for where the worst of the storm appears to be. But when we see a feature like this is a gust front, which means the winds are actually coming out in advance of it. So this is picking up dust and leaves and debris, and it's lofting it up into the atmosphere, sort of that turbulent motion, which would indicate we've got some strong winds that are now working through Huron County, potentially producing 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts. They would have already come through Norwalk, even though the heaviest of the storm is now in Norwalk. Down toward Attica, the winds probably just kicked up. And let's head back over toward Tiffin. We've got some areas in and around Seneca County that are very likely producing some strong to severe storms. And when we highlighted earlier what was going on toward Tiffin, we said by about 4 o'clock those storms would be rolling into Tiffin. So we certainly hope you're in your place of shelter. This is a severe thunderstorm warning in Tiffin, but it's for a considerable risk of winds that could be up to 70 miles per hour. Those strong winds that have already come through Green Springs, it is raining very hard, very vivid lightning and booming thunder that is across much of Green Springs. That extends down toward Republic and Bloomville. These are areas next up. If they haven't already seen that gust front come through, there may be a secondary kick of winds of 50, 60, even up to 70 miles per hour that is moving from Tiffin to Bloomville and continuing to move to the east, and that is eventually going to intersect. That should be Route 4 right there. So the Route 4 corridor through Attica. That is going to be working to these. So here's 224 and Route 4. Really anywhere along Route 4 from Seneca County all the way up to Sandusky. You get some really intense storms that are working into your area. Kaylee, what is the latest on what you've been tracking over on your end? Any brand new information that's come in?
Yeah, Chris, I'm still continuing to monitor chat. We're looking still at those multiple thunderstorm warnings. Still no active tornado warnings, at least for us here in Northwest Ohio and Southeast Michigan. Stopping this on radar. Again, Chris mentioned we're talking multiple thunderstorm warnings from Putnam County, Hancock County, Seneca County, Sandusky County, Erie County, Huron County. Multiple places under some kind of severe thunderstorm warning. Again, we are not tracking any active tornado warnings. However, we are talking about some very strong and powerful winds across the area. Now, one thing I do want to show you, parts of Wood County pretty much done with those very strong storms. So we're watching Bowling Green, Perrysburg, Maumee, even that's in Lucas County. You are done with that severe weather threat for this evening. We're really focusing on Findlay, Tiffin, Fremont, Sandusky, and Norwalk. Now, we're not only live on TV, we're also live online from YouTube to Facebook, and I'm still monitoring our chats from Facebook as well. So let's see, we have quite a few comments here. Let's see what you guys have been saying. Let's see, Ben says Findlay has some slight rain, thunder, and wind. Yes, we're gonna be dealing with a lot of wind, some very strong lightning strikes, and also some loud thunder booms. Mitch says it's starting to rain in his neck of the woods in Findlay. Scott says in Fostoria, the storm has moved into the area. No winds really to speak of, but that heavy rain is certainly falling. Amanda in New Regal, nothing yet. Amanda is at your doorstep within the next few minutes. So we're still monitoring Facebook and also YouTube and also on TV as well. No active tornado warnings, but we're not going anywhere right now. We're going to keep you updated both on air and also online. I'm going to monitor weather service chat, see what's going on over there real quick. So again, we're watching multiple thunderstorm warnings. There is a tornado warning up towards the Cleveland area. So if you have loved ones over towards Cleveland, make sure that they are weather aware, but really seeing a decent amount of lightning. In fact, one thing I do want to look at is how many lightning strikes we're looking at across the area. So as far as those lightning strikes, about 131 lightning strikes within the past 15 minutes. So a big thing. You hear lightning or see lightning, hear thunder, go inside. Again, no active tornado warnings, but we are still monitoring some very strong and powerful winds. Like Chris has mentioned, we're seeing wind gusts around 60 to almost 70 miles an hour. So hopefully brought in those loose outdoor objects, brought them inside. Eventually these storms will be clearing on out of here. In fact, clearing on out for some of us. However, we are not done just yet. And again, if you are just tuning in, if you have your devices nearby, keep sending in your photos, your videos over to the WTOL 11 Facebook page, our YouTube, our app, to Chris, to myself. We want to keep you safe and informed by doing that. You guys are helping us out as well. So again, we are monitoring those chats as well. Let's see a couple more comments right here from Facebook, what we're looking at real quick. Chris, I'll get back to you.
Yep.
Yeah, we're still talking about multiple thunderstorm warnings, no tornado warnings, and tornado sirens are still going off. And Chris, the reason is because of these very strong winds.
Yeah, very strong winds. And what we see with these winds in particular, up to 70 miles per hour, this is more than the ordinary severe thunderstorm. And what we're going to be doing, Kaylee, we've been covering active tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings. At this point, there are no active tornado warnings in our viewing areas. So we're going to be coming up here on a very quick break, a commercial break. That is going to lead us into WTOL 11 news at 4 p.m. And we'll continue to cover some of the storms and what the threat is going forward across Northwest Ohio, because my concern is still out there for winds about 70 miles per hour. Give me one wider view so I can give a quick recap before we send folks to commercial break. It is the southern and eastern edge of our viewing area. Again, this is not an active threat here in the Toledo Metro, but from Findlay to Tiffin, right along the 224 corridor into Erie and Huron County. We'll have more coming up on WTOL 11 News at 4. Stay with us.